Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fulton Street Beats. Today's a pretty cool day. We are going to be installing these James Hetfield EMG active pickups. And I got these from a pretty cool seller on eBay, actually. I'm going to leave a link in the description just because they were so helpful with picking out these pickups for this guitar. Wanted to make sure that they were correct. And, they did a good job. Very, very responsive to messages and to message me back a lot. Just finishing up my fretboard here. Then I'll give it another final polish when we're done here. But I'm noticing that on camera, this thing is looking very, very red. And I think it's just the LEDs that we're under. In real life, this is much darker. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but apparently it is. So I have cut the strings so far. And I'm going to pull this bridge off. But guys, look at this is a lock-on bridge. This bridge actually locks into place. That's right. It doesn't pull off some force. There we go. They made a little divot on each side. It actually locks in place, which is really cool because, well, stringing up guitars is easier when you got a bridge that locks in place. We'll get rid of our strings over here. Best way to, when you cut your strings, is to do this so they don't go all over the place on you. We'll throw those over here. So let's get into this. We're going to take a peek at the bridge while we're right here and pull this off. And a nice heavy bridge. This guitar came intonated, which was a really pleasant surprise that it came intonated. And then we're going to pull these knobs off. This switch is going to be staying because we're actually going to be installing a switch over here, which is going to be, we got to do some drilling for that. I did remove the truss rod cover in this, and I'll try to put a picture up here. And apparently what they did with this headstock, it's actually like kind of like Gibson does with a plate that goes over the front that they glue to the front, and that's what they did. You can tell by the cutout. So I'll put a picture up here. So that I found that very interesting. We're also going to be changing the tuners to some Gold Hipshot tuners, lockers, open gear, and we just picked those up for around $71. I believe it was the tax. And we're also using the EMG plug-and-play switch. So everything's plug-and-play. Not that it's going to be easy because I've never done it before with the EMGs, with plug-and-play. Usually I'm wiring things up, so it's either going to baffle me or it's going to work out great. So first, let me move some things out of the way. And we'll slide this guitar down a little bit here. And hopefully you guys can see what I'm about to do. We're gonna remove these because we're going to get the simple stuff out of the way quickly. Didn't like the feel of these tuners. They definitely have to go. So we're going to tip this over here. I don't want to really mess with action, so we'll try not to bump it. But here's our fake growers on here. And don't put a lot of pressure on the headstock. So just enough to start it. Pulling it out, set it to the side. Yeah, these are definitely knockoffs. Okay. Let's get rid of some of this stuff here. So I have been very happy with this guitar, the way it sounds and the way it plays right out of the box. I think it's a very nice guitar, to tell you the truth, and been very happy with it. Let's take these tuners out of the box here. So here's our mounting plates, and this is called a UMP, Universal Mounting Plate, and there appears to be a few different options in here. So let's open these up and check them out. I have never installed these plates before either, so like I said, pretty much old school on things, and I believe they do an overlap, and they're adjustable. They'll give us directions for that. Yes, so that would go with that one. That would go with that one. And here's our quick adjustments on how they go. But the question is, will these fit without the plates and look okay? So, no, they do not. So they're a different lineup on these. So where I am going to have to use the plates is where I'm guessing. And we can throw a tuner in here to hold it. I know where it's going to go. Okay. I see how that works. Now. So let's grab a couple more tuners here. Just to hold it in place. And there we are. So these, we're going to sit right in these grooves like so. Yeah, you can do these without looking at them, guys. There we go. So you just throw your washer on, put your ferrule in there. And what's nice about this is you can go back to any tuner you want to without drilling holes later on. Very cool. Snug, 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 and snug, and that is it. They are installed. Now we're just going to throw all this stuff right in here for now. I'll turn this guitar over, and voila! Looks fantastic. Now that I've snugged them, just gently snugged them, I'm going to give them a go through them from the top and give them another snug. Now, I don't over-tighten anything. Everything is just a snug. And then what I suggest is every time you change your strings, just make sure that they're still snugged up. You guys want to see this closer? There you go. Not too shabby, right? Very cool. All right. So that is out of the way. And now we're going to dive into the guitar itself. And now, before I do anything, I'm going to pull this. You know, we have to disconnect everything. But I want to make sure what wires are running where before I start to disconnect everything. No, I may cut the wires. I may desolder. I don't know yet. It depends on how everything's ran. So we'll pull our screws out. We are not going to mess really with a lot on this guitar simply because the setup was so amazing. So here is our pickups, and yes, definitely CNC routed inside, done really, really well. Wow, okay, very cool indeed. So what I'm going to do now, since I'm seeing how it's going, I'm going to put the screw back in here, and this is just to hold the pickup temporarily while I flip the guitar over. But we're going to do the same thing with this pickup. And we can take a peek inside. And I'm not using my screw gun on this simply because I'm just taking my time with this today. It is over here if I need to, or I get pressed for time. So our neck joint, where it mounts into this body, we do not have like a tenon coming up into the pickup area, but we have this much area of solid mounting surface where this is going into. So that's actually pretty good. Give you an idea of the length of that mounting surface. We've got 3.40 inches of mounting surface there. So, I mean, that is never going anywhere. So that's a good solid mount. It's never going to move. So that's cool. So let's put this pickup back in. And once again, put a screw in to hold it while we flip the guitar over. Now, this switch here, this knob, is going to be changed with an actual toggle switch. So on the real version of this guitar, on the actual ESP, this is a dead switch. The only thing I believe that runs to this switch on the actual one is a ground. But down here is actually where the switch goes. And that's how we're going to hook this up. So what we have is we have two volume controls for each pickup. One here, and then this will be a tone. And that's exactly how we're going to do it, providing that we can do it that way. So it's capped on the front, capped on the back is what they did, with mahogany in the middle. I'm sure it's probably a mahogany cap. It might not be, but so there we go. And this is the ground. So they used a red wire for the ground right here. So we need to cut this wire. And what I'm going to do is take that wire and snip that right there. There we go. So this is our ground running through. At least it should be. And we have a whole new jack that's going in it also. So now it's running to the switch. So what we can do here is we can actually cut that wire to the jack. And there is that. And see what else we got here. It's running there. That's running there. So we're down. We're just going to snip these and we'll pull these pickups right out of here. I'm going to snip that here so we have enough room if we ever need to do anything with this stuff. Again, on the ground, snip and snip. There's our wire, they're out. And we have these wires here that go to the switch, which I'm going to leave connected for now. We may need to use one of these grounds if we need to ground it to a switch up here. We're going to try to get this as close to the original wiring as possible. So there are those. Now we can flip the guitar back over and we can remove our pickups. We'll keep those in order. Boom, there they are. Now we're probably going to have to reuse these rings. I'm not sure, so we'll see what happens. But I want to keep them facing the right direction in case we do. I'm not sure exactly what's in the kit. So there we are. Pickups are now out. And as you can see, they're a two-wire pickup. These are fantastic pickups, see, that was a blooper. These are fantastic pickups, though. They sound really good. They're quite heavy. And if I didn't know any better by the sound, you'd think they were EMGs, although they seem to be a little bit on the low output side, but still nonetheless sounded fantastic. So it's kind of it's always a crapshoot when you're changing out parts when you have something that's functioning really well already. But here's the guitar in its bare form. Everything is tight, pretty much. Yeah, everything's tight and snug where it should be. So these are all flush with the body. So here it is in all of its glory. Here is the James Hetfield EMG kit. Now these pickups should be labeled neck and bridge. Let's hope so anyhow. Yes, here's our neck pickup that'll be sitting here. And as you can see, we went with that brushed, like a brushed black. It's pretty cool, almost a dark gray. I think it's pretty cool anyhow. And so we're going to sit that here. Let's sit these out the way. There's another one. And let's get our pots out here. Here is our plug that's going to go in our plate. So we're going to reuse our plate. It's not an entire plate. And here is our main connecting harness. And here is our pots here. And this is what they look like, guys. And you have little connectors here that everything just kind of slides onto. These are a long shaft pot. So one little long shaft pot, in case these ever go in anything else, such as a Gibson or what have you, they usually require a long shaft pot. So we can adjust these to fit anywhere they need to fit. Just simply put a nut on it and we can adjust these up or down. So we're going to get those out and out of the way. We know what we're dealing with. Here is our wiring harness. Here is our springs and screws for the our pickup surrounds. And here is our directions, guys. So I'm going to sit this stuff over to the side here. And of course, we've got to check these directions out. So let me read this a little bit, and then we'll get right back to you. It's going to be a blink of an eye for you, a couple minutes for me, and I will be right back. So we're going to get into our harness here. Let's see exactly what we got. And we'll find out what locations we're going to run everything at. This will be for the neck pickup. Good thing we use this because it would take forever unscrewing me. There we are. Pull this off. Here's. Now we have that in there. We have to run our cables to our pickups. So the bridge pickup and the neck pickup. So this, I believe, these are coordinated the same. Judging by them, they look exactly the same. So we have these little connectors right here, this little protector, I should say, that slides off there. So if this pickup's going in here like so, put this on the wrong end of the connector. There we are. Farther than before. Snug them just like before. Just snug. Never over tighten. Always snug. There we are. So now, what we need to do is make sure that we know this here. Make sure it comes through all the way. There it is. So this is going to be to our I'm going to dump the check to make sure everything is proper, guys. So that is our our neck. So that is going to connect to the neck pickup to the neck volume. So we need to find our neck volume. And hopefully it's labeled. Passive tone. Passive tone. One of these we're not using. And that's a volume, and these might be the same. And that's a volume. So we can use either one of those because they're just volumes. They're all 25K. So we're going to take this now and see exactly what they said here. I'm going to look at the picture that they have. All right, there is our neck in place. There. Now we're plugged in here. We're going to try to keep these nice and neat. We'll know where we put everything in a little bit. Let's get the bridge one installed. The shorter wire goes through. There. And once again, just snug and then snug up firmly with my hand here. We are. So these are now installed. Looking good, Cannonball Run. Looking good. I'm going to drop these for now. There. Take this here. Here we are. Okay, snug. Get in a good looking position back and forth like so. I think that's nice. I block this down actually right there. Okay. Very nice. Now remember, I'm not going to do this until last, so we can place this where it needs to be placed, put our battery in there and everything else. So now we have our master tone. Now any one of these can be a master tone. These are passive tones, but of course active pickups. So run this out to the switch. Boom. Run this out to the switch. Or to the plug, I should say. There we are. How was that? We have white. Just black. And then we have the black. The switch here. Very good. Okay, there's all that. Now we can put our switch in, screw it or our plug in, screw it down. And there we are. It's starting to take shape, guys. All right, there we go. How's that looking in there? Pretty good, right? Nice and neat so far. These wires are just willy-nilly, but it's going to be very neat. This here. Well, when I install this switch, what I have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is make sure, well, number one, that we can get to what we need to get to here. That's up and down like that, so I believe... Yes. So we have to make this hole that big. So we're going to have to drill this out. And let's see how big we are here. I don't want to chew this up, so I'm going to score this by hand. You guys can see what I'm doing. What I do first, because we don't want to chip the finish, is just kind of score it. We're going to go up in increments. Make sure we're not going to hit anything on the other side when we go through. Make sure the wires are out of the way. I'm going to drill from the top down. I'm not going to tape this one off. So we'll go slowly. Just like so. That's it. And then we'll progress up in size slowly. But before I do that, let's There we are. Okay, so we drilled that out, and now we have the switch in. Well, not mounted. It's not hooked up, but it is in the top here. Thingy. Place this kind of centrally right there in the middle. I think that looks fantastic. There we are. Now we can actually pull this off, I believe. Yes, and still work with it. There we go. So we have mounting plate is in the center, and just kind of like a big plastic piece of Velcro. So now, this one was our neck volume. So the neck volume, question, neck goes to the second pin on the red. There we are. And then the bridge is here, is going to go here. Cool. And there's a red that's here that is from just energize the pickups. I'm taking it. Boom. Oh, right. Okay, so all in all, a pretty clean installation. Took a bit of time to get it right. I wish I could have ran the wires a little more neatly, but it is what it is, and we have our battery supply here. I'm going to give this a test here real quick, and make sure that we have some power. Flip this over, make sure that these pickups are working. We'll plug it in and give them a tap. Good. But there we go. Now we're going to put our knobs on and get this thing strung up and give it a test. Stay right there. Prince. Edit. Now we're going to do some 10 to 46s, slinkies. And